Hey everyone, thank you for joining the live today. Charmaine had sent me, well, I know who this person is, like meaning I know that she's an aunt of Cody Lee Sullivan, and Cody Lee Sullivan is the father of the biological dad of Lily and Jack. So we're going to be talking about that in a second. So she's been doing some posting, and I'm really glad to see that somebody's sick and tired of waiting, and then so they're voicing their opinion. So we'll go with that in just a second. But anyways, if you guys, of course, are here for this case or any other case, please hit that like and share button. Don't do it for the channel. Please always do it for the children. That's what counts the most in bringing awareness. Now, it is National, of course, Center of Missing and Exploited Children. Today is Sunday, so that's why, of course, that's up there. And of course, there's cases that we cover, cases a lot of people cover, but it's always emphasized, please, if you can do a little something small, just like this channel, if it can do something small to bring awareness to cases, then of course, that's what we can do. We can't always bring answers, but we can certainly follow cases, discuss them, and bring awareness to these cases out there. It's really sad, of course, that we even have to have these type of things. Sorry, I'm gonna have to turn off the other. Can you guys hear the big fan? Does it sound loud? Because I got a little fan here, but can you guys hear that? Thank you for subscribing, Doreen, and anybody else that's new to the channel as well. So, of course, before we get into today's live, we're gonna quickly discuss. This is another case that's been brought to our attention because of this case. Now, I'm personally, me and Charmaine, and Charmaine can't be here today, but this is my channel, but Charmaine and some other times, Charmaine is like family, and Melissa. I'm out of Vancouver, Canada, on the West Coast side, same with Charmaine. Melissa is out of the United States. But anyway, so sometimes they join me on the panel as well to discuss these cases. So during this case of Jack and Lily, a lot of people were talking about this case, about Dylan Eller's case from 2020, a 3-year-old that went missing. And the family is still trying to figure out what happened. On May 30th and the June 1st, they're going to be doing a search. So again, basically the family, the mom and the dad and that, they just want answers. They want to know, did Dylan end up in the water, or did something nefarious happen in this case? So it's hard for anyone that's ever in this situation to ever have to go through that type of agony and pain. Thank you for subscribing. You guys, for anyone that's really following this case, we pretty much have been doing lives every day. It's a very important case, and of course, whenever the cases pull at your hearts, this one has become a national case. So to that one news anchor that spoke last week about how it hasn't been really captured that well, like in Canada and stuff like that, that lady needs to grab some brain cells, that news anchor, because this case has gone national right around the world. So I don't know where her brain cells were at for that one. But anyways, just keep pushing it out there, you guys, keeping the awareness. So again, I'm very glad for the one aunt basically opening up and kind of speaking a little bit. So that's this case, guys. And another important case is Sebastian Rogers, please. Sebastian Rogers is out of Hendersonville, Tennessee. He disappeared last year, February 25th. You want to talk about a case that, again, is very suspicious, where you're really much side-eyeing the bio mom and the stepdad versus the stepfather, Seth Rogers, who's continuously doing exactly what a father should be doing. He's every day just relentless in his quest to see what's happened to his son. Sebastian Rogers lived in more of a rural community, but there was tons of cameras and ring door cameras. Bottom line is, Sebastian Rogers, there's nothing to say that he left his home. The dogs didn't go past the driveway, and it's just a very mysterious case and a very questionable case, but nobody has been found guilty of anything. It's just a matter of speculation and what could have happened to Sebastian Rogers. Again, it's been 15 months and no signs of whatever happened to Sebastian Rogers. What aunt? Is that what you're asking? We're talking about Cody Lee Sullivan's aunt. Like, that would be her nephew, Cody Lee, which is, obviously Cody Lee Sullivan is the biological father of these children, which of course will bring them up here which is Lily and Jack Sullivan. So Lily and Jack Sullivan, age 6 and age 4, missing from the Lansdowne Station, Pictou area of Nova Scotia. Very sad case indeed. This one has a lot of heartache to it, like all of them actually that are missing, and nobody has a clue. But somebody has a clue. That's the bottom line of it. Yeah, he offered a reward. I asked him if you're talking about Dolly. I seen Dolly do that yesterday. Him putting up a $5,000 reward, up to, remember the word, for any information leading to, of course, where those children are, whether they're alive or they're not. Unfortunately, anyways, you guys can check out his channel. Channel. I don't have a poster of that. I just saw him do it yesterday with this case. I know in Canada we do things a little bit differently for sure. But at the end of the day, sometimes there's groups or people that put things together to offer their rewards and stuff like that. So, so with that being said, I'm not really going to sit here, and I'm not one of those ones to prolong anything. So we're just going to kind of get right into it. I'm going to start off though with, let's see here. I want to show, so Belinda Gray, which is the mother of Lily Sullivan, she typically posts on there about Jack and Lily, and updates. Hi, Jackie. Thank you so much for doing that. The Rick roll goes off whenever. So just give me a second then, Jackie. I just need to go see who got those. Just give me a second as I go to the channel. To your channel. The chat's not going too fast, hopefully. Okay, so it says house music received one, Crafty one. Hey, Crafty one. Amy Combs Baker, Lily Sagan, and Evelyn Curran. So thank you so much, Jackie, for doing that. And you guys, for all those, make sure you guys give a thank you to for Jackie for free membership. That means you don't have any wait time. The slow mode, and of course you can use the emoticons as well. Okay. Actually, give me a second, you guys. Rick Roll's playing here for a second. I'm just going to go turn off that fan because it's distracting me. It's too loud. So just bear with me one moment, please. Well, and first of all, that song, the Rick Roll that plays, that goes off whenever a membership. So she'd gifted 5, so it goes off 5 times. If you don't like Rick Roll, not really caring. I like it. It goes off. And there's a guy named Rick Astley that actually will come into the chat and stuff like that. But anyway, so appreciation again, Jackie, for that. And I don't know. I always like my Rick Roll, okay? Oh, and I'd give you guys up in a second, just saying. Just kidding. Okay, so I think there might be one more to go off. Hi, Auntie Ree. Been a minute. Sharon Parker's in the house. Thank you, mods. Thank you, everybody, again for joining. Hope you guys are having a blessed day out there. It's really nice out here. It's 20 degrees here. Hi, Miss Dog Lover. Hey, everyone. Like I said, hi, everyone, to the regulars. And then, of course, all to the new people that are coming in to watch at this time. That's probably the last one. Okay, so we're just quickly going to, what was that, Sherman? I'll have to take a look at what Charmaine just sent me. Okay, so we're going to take a quick look. This is Belinda Gray. Okay, again, Lily Sullivan's mother. Now, I noticed that she made this post today. And you know how Malaya had said possible autism? So perhaps maybe I'm thinking that the reason she said that is because she said autism mums are sunshine mixed with a little hurricane. So that got me thinking that maybe Lily Sullivan, the father of Jack and Lily, has autism, and hence why she used that word possible. I mean, because when somebody uses the word possible, it's either like, well, they are or they aren't. Come on. But when I saw this, then I'm thinking, okay, so maybe perhaps the biological dad has autism, and where that came from, not 100%, but that's on her post today as well. So just give me a second. So I just quickly wanted to show you these. Okay, so International Missing Children's Day. And, she's posted some pictures here. Aw, of the precious grandchildren. And this obviously has to be so devastating for anyone that's part of the family that is truly missing and genuinely, perhaps, had, well, we don't know what happened to the children, to be honest with you. No matter how nefarious we might think it is, there simply is no answers. There's a very questionable interview by Malaya that's red flags, so you can, from start to finish. There's a bunch of red flags with this case, but truly we don't know the answer yet. So we don't accuse anybody because we don't know the answers, but we can definitely speculate and talk about the case. But, Belinda Gray is, of course, the biological grandmother. And then you have Cindy Murray, which is Malaya's mother, which would be the grandmother as well. And then, of course, you have Janie McKenzie, which is not even, like, we'll just say step grandmother, but Daniel and Malaya, just been in a 3-year relationship. So we'll just use the terms of stepfather and, step grandmother. So basically, we'll say 3 grandmothers all around. Okay. Oh, there's Charmaine. So Charmaine's the one that sent me this. I'm amazed that I can tell by how many people are on this live right now. Like, how is this not already out there, considering this was at 3 o'clock in the morning or 3:30, right, Charmaine, on there? And let me just take a look, because I thought Charmaine sent me something else. Oh, Charmaine? Okay, Missing Internationals Day, Nova Scotia. Let's see, what is that? Okay, I'm not, Charmaine, just tell me who that person is playing a guitar in the messenger that you just sent me. Oh, sorry, I took it down and yet it was right there. So May 25th is International Missing Children's Day. Over the past 3 weeks, several agencies have participated in the ground and air searches in Lansdowne Station as part of the ongoing investigation into the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan. The Nova Scotia RCMP that wants to thank the hundreds of volunteers who scoured the area for the 2 children. As RCMP officers continue to assess and follow up on all aspects of this missing persons file, investigators thank the many Nova Scotians who have been contacted with the police with tips. Anyone with information, of course, who hasn't spoken to officers is asked to call the Pictou County District RCMP at 902-485-4333, or to remain anonymous, contact the Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS, which is 8477 on there. So, okay. So, hey, Evelyn. Evelyn got a membership there. RCMP started a new website for the missing children. It's also a Facebook, on Facebook now. Thank you so much. Thank you for whoever's subscribing as well. Again, welcome to the channel. It's just some guy who wrote a song about, oh, did some guy write a song about the kids? Well, we'll have to play that. But let's get into these, this messages about, again, so it'd be the Cody's aunt. So it'd be her nephew, okay? And her name is Daphne Sullivan. Okay. Now I've seen Daphne Sullivan's name many times. I've went and checked out just to see if she's posting stuff and that. So I was pleasantly surprised when Charmaine sent me these messages from a Facebook group that had posted them in another Facebook group, and that somebody is speaking out because they're tired of waiting. So let's take a look at the first one. Oh my God, too many things open here. I think it's this one that I want to pull up. Okay. Yeah, it is. Okay, so we'll start off with this one, and let me make sure you guys can all see it. Okay. Okay, so obviously it says the kids didn't even go into the woods, and that's Daphne Ann Sullivan. Okay, don't even try to add her to your messenger. It doesn't allow you to. I already tried that. Okay. The kids didn't even go into the woods in the first place. Plus, they have dogs in the yard. Okay. So they have dogs in the yard, which if someone adopted them, the dogs would, I got to read through the typos here, would have made a noise. I say that they were taken off the land by someone close to them and by a quad or a vehicle. and they are nowhere in those dense woods. So just stop searching because they're not there. You need to put these two people in interrogation for 2 to 4 hours and see which one is going to crack, because I know that they're nowhere around that area whatsoever. In my heart, I know that. So please do an interrogation. Tell the mother you're going to take away the baby or take away the baby from her, whatever the cause may be, to get her to talk, because something has got to be done before it's too late. I say the kids are probably in Halifax Harbor. I'm sad to say it, but it's reality. Okay, so let me go to the next one here. My goodness. I got too many things open. I want to say it is this one. Okay. And if I'm out of order, then so be it. I'm just trying to pull them up. I think what's in order here. There's just 4. Okay. So this Bonnie Jean Blankenship. You guys remember that name from like Treasure of Oak Island? Yeah. The last name Blankenship. Anyways, Daphne says, CPS already has taken their baby. God, am I reading the right one? If not, you guys just bear with me. CPS has already taken the baby till after the investigation. Can you guys see that? Okay. I agree with some of the comments. It's been weeks, still not found. I say they were given or taken drugs. They're not even one clue for this whole thing. A comments is a big scam. Never, nothing, or heard nothing like this. Whatever, I'm not rereading that. Oh no, she still got her baby. So Daphne says, oh no, she still got her baby with her at her mother's place. I agree. They're nowhere near the homestead. Mandy Taylor says, Daphne and Sullivan, they've been interviewed. The boyfriend said day 1, they questioned him for 4 hours. Okay. On that one. And let me stop screen. So I'm trying to do it this way instead of just sharing it through the StreamYard. And hide you. Stop screen. Pull up the next one. Again, this. Come on now. Share screen. I think it's this one. Is that the right one, guys? Nope. Wrong one. My bad. They all start looking like, one second. My bad. Probably should have just done this the way I was going to do it. Okay, let me click on this one. This one? Okay. Daphne says, here, let me make it a little bit bigger for you guys. I think it's this one here. Okay. Daphne says, Marlene Prom, thank you so much. I kept my mouth shut for too long, and it's very hard reading about your very own family. Great niece and nephew. I knew that it was great. I figured it was great, actually. So it's her great nephew, which is Cody. They are just babies. I hope Lily and Jack are found soon and live would definitely, and alive, I think she meant to say, would definitely be amazing and happy. But if not, hope to find their bodies for closure. And then Julie says, Daphne, why isn't your nephew doing anything to find this? And Daphne says, why? Because he just doesn't want to be down around those people, which obviously, again, Cody Lee Sullivan. If I'm not mistaken, Cody Lee, he's in Prince George, which is Upper BC. That was, no offense, but that was the one with the charge for the marketplace. But anyway, so that's who they're referring to in this post. And then there's just one more post. So let me just grab that one. Is it this one? Okay, it is this one. So stop screen, present. And again, please, you guys, just for the children, please always just hit the like and the share. Keep these cases out there. Keep the awareness out there. I will never ask anything. Well, if I say sometimes just do it for me, but sometimes I'll say that for something. But in this case, always really put the children first and foremost. Never about the channel, never about the clicks and views, never about clickbait, never about feeding a bunch of bull crap to people. Okay, just know that if you are new to this channel, I don't play those games. You don't play those games when it comes to children's cases. You don't take advantage of those things. This is okay. So I think this is the one here. Okay. So Daphne says, that's not true. But I tell you who they interrogated for 4 hours, which is my nephew, the kids, and my sister-in-law, the grandmother, for what they never even seen the kids in a year and a half. Never, she kept, sorry, you guys, I'm just reading what she put there. Never, she kept the kids away from them. They didn't want them to know where they lived or anything, because look where they live, what kind of house they're living into. They only live 40 minutes away. Sharing brought up the kids up because a boyfriend didn't like them. So why are the police interrogating? My family, the police or RCMP, whatever the F you called, are full of effing shit. They don't have sweet effing clue. We look, oh, that's a whole lot of deciphering right there. Or what you're looking for, to me, is my own opinion. That's all. 1 second here. Let's see. I got to say, just bring Lily and Jack home. We miss and love you so much. And I think that's it for that. And Daphne, I'm very sorry for the pain your family is going through. It's heartbreaking. I would have to actually, you guys, whoever's out there, you guys know how to take a screenshot off the screen. So you guys could do that and decipher. I'll have to sit there and use my brain cells to decipher exactly what she said in there, to be honest with you. And I just want to check with Charmaine here. She had sent, like I said, this. So let me just see. Kent, I'm not sure what you're asking me. I'm live now, which was 4:30 my time, basically, and you guys are 4 hours, so it's 8:30 your time when I go live at 4:30 on the west coast side of Canada. If you guys hear any swearing in the background, that's just my husband gaming. Yeah, he gets a little, his British accent gets, him and his brother get really high vocally. Okay. I gotta pull this up, guys. Okay, hold on a second. Okay. So that was the 4 postings. And again, I know that there's a lot of people that are coming in, and there's like 1,252 people watching right now. Only 2 from Twitter. Twitter, smart now. Anyways, so if the chat is rolling by and I'm not seeing everything, I'm so sorry. Usually I don't have this many people in my chat, not gonna lie. Okay, this channel, it doesn't, honestly, it doesn't get the recognition it deserves when it comes to views. I see people with freaking 500 that get more views on a freaking live or video. I blame YouTube, not you guys. But the more things go out into the algorithm, the more people get to know. Again, I'm a channel that follows cases around the world. Mostly, a lot of them are out of the United States. But again, we're going to be covering Dylan Eller, including Jack and Lily. And just like Sebastian Rogers, I'm one of those people that I don't like to bounce around from story to story to story and stuff like that. I just like to focus on what I'm doing. And, you know, Sebastian Rogers' case and the Dylan Eller and Jack and Lily here are the cases that this channel is working on. And again, and it's because when you really deeply care and have compassion for people, and you just want to do something and do a small part that can bring awareness. The most tragic thing ever is never knowing what happened to a family member. Again, people can go back, take screenshots of this, read them yourselves on there. Now, Charmaine sent me this person that made a song. Apparently, I don't know what it sounds like. It's off of Facebook, but either way, it's something sweet that somebody obviously has done. So if you don't mind, I'm going to play this. And I'm not actually, who is this person? Written by Gregory Crane. Okay, so shout out to Gregory Crane, and we'll just play your song here for Jack.
Thinking about the little girl and boy that went missing in Lansdowne, Nova Scotia. A little tribute song. A little girl and a boy went missing one day. It was on Friday morning, the 2nd of May. People went searching in the woods there outside. The 2 little children named Lily and Jack. The girl was just 6 years, the boy was 4. While others were sleeping, they walked out the door. As time it went by and turned into days, no sign of those children, the news it did say. Where's Lily and Jack? Where can they be? So sad and heartbreaking for each family. Not a trace or a sound from Lily or Jack, who walked out the door and they never came back. Lansdowne Station, it was their own. In Nova Scotia, 'cause there they did roam. Let's not forget them and let us pray for those 2 little children still missing today. Where's Lily and Jack? Where can they be? So sad and heartbreaking for each family. Not a trace or a sound from Lily or Jack, who walked out the door and they never came back. Who walked out the door and they never came back.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep it there for a second. So again, I believe his name was Gregory Crane. Was it? Yeah, Gregory Crane. Oops. 1 second here. What the heck was that? Geez, get teary-eyed on that one. Honestly, this is how much sometimes things mean to people. So I appreciate the fact that Gregory Crane, big shout out, dude. Big shout out there from probably Newfoundland. And just the fact that you literally took time, that this case means that much, that you literally sat down and wrote a song about it, right? I mean, I've done plenty of tribute videos for cases because it's my way that I know I can create a beautiful video in honor of children or cases or, someone that I want to appreciate and stuff like that. So it's really very sweet and touching when people really, it impacts them so much so that they actually sit down and write a song. So that was very nice. Yeah. So going back, and I'm glad I checked it out. This seems like a good channel. Yeah, you know what? If you guys don't mind, let's just, again, discuss this channel for a second, if you don't mind. I'm out of Canada. Charmaine's out of Canada. This is my channel. It's called It's a Criming Shame. Okay, it was brought up not because I actually wanted to be in true crime. It was brought up because I happened to see this case of this mother named Suzanne Morphew. And then this Delphi case. But the Suzanne Morphew case, Basically they couldn't find Suzanne, and then you could see a lull happening. You guys know when nothing happens, then there's a big lull, and the case starts to kind of fade away. And I didn't want that to happen in Suzanne Morphew's case, so I was like, bring up your channel and do something about it. So that's what I did. And then I've been in, that was in 2020. Suzanne Morphew went missing on Mother's Day, right? Okay, definitely. We're talking about the husband, okay? He was charged, then they didn't have enough. Then they finally found her body last year, or was it? Yeah, last year. But there's still no charges been brought. So we can't say that Barry Morphew is guilty, but karma's going to find its way. So basically, bottom line is, I always believe in being just straightforward, authentic, as am I in real life. Okay, I don't like being dishonest. I don't like making thumbnails that try to drive people in here for the sake of the channel's clicks and views. I couldn't in my heart feel good about who I am as a person if I did things like that. So just know that this is about being fact-based when it comes to the cases. So whenever I'm saying fact-based, anything to do with the LE, RCMP, law enforcement in the States, or RCMP here in Canada, and the information that's coming out of the mouths of the family members. So even if it's not true, that's still coming out of their mouths or posting it, whichever. So I like to put out the facts, and then we can all talk about speculation and what we feel, because obviously in a case like this case, right, I can totally sit here and speculate and say that I think Malaya's interview is one of the worst interviews given. Whether she's the most innocent, guiltiest person or guiltiest innocent person ever, that interview was just huge red flags. Anyone watching it could see the inconsistencies in how it was almost like a script, that little things were inserted along the way about the chatty children, that chat, telling Daniel, do you hear the kids, inserting about the quiet door. So those things are definitely a lot of red flags. Do you look at all options? But the highest probability when it comes to a case like this, as Dr. Todd Grande had said in his, and if you guys don't know who Dr. Todd Grande is, I say Grande, but Grande is, you guys really need to check him out. He's like a type A personality, boom, boom, boom. Here's the probability, here's about the case kind of thing, and here's the probability. And it's true. When you think about Jack and Lily's case, right, and you think about them not supposedly going outside without supervision, bullshit. Okay, I think we all know that. But anyways, in this sliding door. So not only did they do that, and how did they know that they were playing? In hindsight, is that a Freudian slip about that whole in hindsight? Because only a camera or a person on the property would be able to tell you that. So, right? So at the end of the day, it becomes, so these kids went out this super quiet door, even though it doesn't look super quiet whatsoever. And obviously, even to mention that means that it has happened before, that they went through the yard and then they went up to, say, the front yard, and then no other vehicle would have seen these children, even though it's a rural area, don't get me wrong, but the one vehicle that passes these children decides that they're the abductor and that they're going to take Jack and Lily. Very, very extremely unlikely. The children don't like to be wet and cold, according to Daniel. And yet again, these children went through this silent door, took the backpack, little booties. Daniel was even able to tell us about the clothes that little Jack was wearing. So what? So is this because Jack was wearing those clothes? And that's what he was in, regardless of what day it happened on, And of course, the diapers, is this a lot of shit being fed to us? And again, someone looks, very sus in a sense when they're saying these things that don't make sense and the emotions aren't matching. Fake tears, no tears. Sorry, there's no tears, fake tears. But anyways, at the end of the day, so they go out into the woods, and again, Daphne says that they got dogs, right? You honestly think that the dogs wouldn't have been blah, 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 right? You think that they really went out into the woods, that the searchers and according to Daniel, in 20 minutes time, and yet it says 8 o'clock that they were last seen. And then their stories are a little bit inconsistent there, where Malaya and again, not to say that Malaya and Daniel are guilty, but I'm just calling a spade here. If they are, again, may karma come their way and bitch be your friend. And if they're not, obviously, then then hopefully we'll be able to find out what actually happened. But for speculation purposes, in my opinion, maybe whatever in your guys' opinion, the chances that these kids in a short period of time went into the woods, nothing was found, not a knapsack. A mother believes that this pink blanket was, Lily's. Daniel says it's nothing. A mother would know a blanket, but I always leave room for overlooking some things if by chance things could have got mixed up, for sure, right? But searchers, come on, the woods, and the kids just kept going. Lily has a scream that is ear piercing. You don't think this child is not going to be found with that ear piercing, and that they're just going to keep trudging along, a little 4 and 6 year old, and they're going to get very far over those woods? And then the searchers, okay? So we go back to the press conference. Press conference basically says, look, if we had information to give you about or why, or if we should have done an Ambi Alert, we would have given you that information. But guess what? We didn't, because we don't believe there was an abduction. Now, they have gained, of course, footage for the last 5 days. Obviously, they're not thinking that Jack and Lily disappeared 5 days before, but what they're going to be looking into is what were the parents doing 5 days before, or was there a vehicle in the area, possibly? Obviously, the bus driver, Brian Ward, was the last one to see the children on Tuesday. Was there a party on Wednesday? Was Lily and Jack called in sick because something happened to them on the Wednesday, possibly into the Thursday, and they were called in sick for school? On Friday was the day to call in, perhaps to make this false fabricated story because they have another child named Willow. Now, this is just hypothetically, okay, guys? Right? So does that seem to flow and sound like a probability, considering the highest probability is that a family member did something to these children versus an abduction or being lost in these woods? I mean, again, it's thinking, it's common sense, right? Now, none of that might be true, and all of it might be true. We don't know. So all we can do is talk about it, think about the possibilities. But the thing is, it's very limited possibilities. And what rings more true when you hear this, what is like a preconceived story coming out of Malaya, and then she takes off and goes home, right? Is this one of those things where something happened? The children accidentally thought they got into some drugs, thought it was candy or something. One of them ended up deceased. Two of them ended up deceased. Who knows, right? They panic and they have another child between them. Well, they know that their ass would be grass and they'd be doing some prison time and lose their child. Or possibly, hypothetically, do they make up a story and try to sell it to people? Is that a possibility or a probability? Again, abduction, right? Lost in the woods, nothing to be found. Or that there's no scent past the road. There's what is deemed as fabricated stories. So in this channel, again, we have no problem giving the facts of the case always about what has been said, okay? So by Daphne, for instance, Sullivan, in these posts that she put out today, those are her feelings. That's her, well, I guess what would you want to call it? Great grandbabies, right? Or not great grandbabies, great auntie babies to her, because that's her brothers, okay? So that would be Cody Lee Sullivan's father. So like Cody Lee Sullivan's father would be the grandfather of these children. And the grandfather is Daphne's brother. Okay. So basically, Cody is the nephew of Daphne. But this is coming from, again, a family member. So you have to look at that. Oh, I don't like to feed into drama and speculation about stuff that people try to add in or twist. You always take that with a grain of salt with everything. But you also have, you guys, this post, and I'm sorry if it's hard to keep up with what you guys are saying there, but with this one here, I want to pull up this one again because I feel like this is important. This posting by Belinda Gray. Belinda Gray, of course, again, is Cody Lee Sullivan's mother, and she says she would have got this information from somebody within the family. She is family, but in order for her to get this information, it would have to be by the family that sent this to her, that said that the kids were last seen Thursday night, right? That's what she's being told. Does that make it true? No, but that's what she's being told by perhaps another family member that was told that same thing, that the kids were last seen Thursday night and went to their bed. They were heard playing in the morning at around 8:30 a.m. on Friday. Again, don't know. Is it bullshit? Is it true? Mom and stepdad fell back asleep and woke up to silence. Remember? I tell Daniel, do you hear the kids? Because that's what I do. I don't ask Daniel. I tell Daniel, do you hear the kids? Again, another huge red flag. For anyone watching this right now, you guys know that whole interview was a big red flag. One of the things that bugs me the most, besides these children missing, of course, is when she says, well, today it was raining. Or sorry, yesterday it was raining, but today the sun's up and it's warm. Or the sun's out. I hope the kids are warm. Never ever says their name, never begs for people to help. And she just says, I hope they're warm. Well, so either you believe they were abducted, because if you're abducted, you wouldn't use that sentence, I hope that they're warm, because chances are they're in a freaking dungeon somewhere of somebody's basement, but that's probably not the case. So if you say that I hope they're warm, that refers to outside, and that would be geared towards the woods. So when someone says, I hope they're warm, who would say such a ridiculous statement? Mind you, her father made a ridiculous statement and said, which is the Henry Joseph, and says, baby girl, if this happens again, you let your daddy know. I'm a tracker. I don't know if he just wasn't clear on his words there, but who says, if this happens again, baby girl, well, you got one kid left, type of thing at the moment. It's a very sad case because it really doesn't seem like these children are out there, but we can hope and we can pray that perhaps, just perhaps, that they were sold off. And I don't even usually go down this road, but perhaps they were sold off for, to be trafficked or for drugs or something. Like, that's on the farther sketch for me. But, I would love to see a miracle out of any case. It breaks my heart, like it breaks your guys' heart, to see these innocent children that had so much life, and that we literally have to cover these stories. And then you hear these interviews and you watch their actions. Where's the tears? Anyone that has a child, you honestly think you could have that much composure during an interview? Some people have said it's like, well, when you're missing a dog, like there's no urgency. There's no pleading for the children. There's not even a mention by the mother of their names, And then you got Daniel there, and I've given Daniel more credit for him putting himself out there, but again, Malaya obviously left that property for a reason. Hi, Miss Dog Lover. We'll get back to that. Miss Dog Lovers. Oh, we'll let it read out.
Thank you. Sonny, you have a heart of gold. Thank you for all your hard work on this. Welcome new viewers. Hitting the like helps the algorithm to spread news and help us find these babies.
Thank you, Miss Dog Lover. She's like 35 months member of the channel. A great person from England on that side. My husband's from the pond over there as well. But thank you, Miss Dog Lover. So again, yes, do I have a heart of gold? I'm an empath. It hurts me to even look at these children's faces, talk about these cases, but from the perspective of helping people in life, bringing awareness to things, doesn't matter. It's all about being kinder as a person and being caring. Some people, it says like on the way in, did you hit the like button? Some people sit there and go, no. And in my head, truly what I'm thinking is, well, maybe you're not hitting the like button yet, but maybe you are willing. You're just being sarcastic. Honestly, when it comes to the missing, if you're following this case right now and coming to the channel, one would think to just tap that DNA on that like button at least would mean the world. So if you haven't done that, please do so. Miss Dog Lover, appreciate the kind words. It absolutely helps it get out in the algorithm. What we know from being in true crime, okay, is we know that when cases don't have much for updates, they start to dwindle off. And then certain channels cover it, and other channels go back to their focus of the other cases that they were following. And I can see that happening already because people are impatient. They expect things to happen very quickly, and they don't use logical sense sometimes when they're saying, well, why hasn't somebody been arrested yet? Well, you obviously wanted to have bodies, and you have to have the evidence in order for them to be charged. I believe the RCMP is doing a great job at what they're doing. I believe that there's going to be answers for this case, but I also know that we have to be realistic, that things don't just happen. Sometimes if there's a ton of evidence and everything, someone can be arrested that night, that day, the next day, or whatever. But in this case, you're talking about an area that doesn't have cellular service. And so it's not like they have the same kind of footprints as somebody moving their cell and their cell moving here and here and here. And you can kind of go, boom, liars type of thing. So this is one of those ones we don't know exactly where they're at, but the RCMP are not stupid. And I believe that this case, sadly, is going to be answered. Don't know exactly when, month, maybe 2 weeks. I just feel like it is. And if it does go past that amount of time, then I'm going to start myself to worry a bit there, because then that tells me that that they might have certain information, but not enough to be able to put charges, or if there is charges on somebody, right? But something happened to these two beautiful babies. But anyway, so it says with that one, Rainbow, no, what did the neighbor say? Yeah, again, and if that neighbor post is correct about the partying and whatever. But anyways, going a little bit back about the channel. So all I ask from this channel is that people are respectful. Everyone has the right to their opinion, but it's how you say it. If you say something very ignorantly towards somebody else, bye. I don't care if you're a subscriber or not. Bye-bye. Because it's about caring and being respectful to individuals. If you attack me, see you later. Have a good day. Don't got the time to waste on you whatsoever. Go find some other channel to go frickin' taunt and haunt or something, or troll around, okay? This is about the children and the missing people and the murdered first and foremost, okay? That's the way we have to keep it. We're all adults here. We all have to act like it. That's all that this channel requests. We have a different opinion than mine? Absolutely, you can say it. It's just, again, don't be rude towards other people, just learn to not do this and be a keyboard warrior about that stuff, right? Because some people can be far out there, but whatever. It's their way of thinking. Anyways, it says that they couldn't find the kids. Called 911 around 9:40. Search dogs couldn't find the scent past the driveway. Again, bottom line with this post here, does it make it true? Or does it make it regurgitated information that was actually given to whoever sent it to Belinda? Whether that was Janie McKenzie, whether that was Malayla Brooks Murray, either way, it's information that's been passed on, but it doesn't make it true. And that's the bottom line of this. So we don't know. We've never heard anything to say that the children were last seen, unless someone can literally tell us from within the family, that they seen them. And if they did put that out there, obviously, then that becomes one of those pieces of evidence regardless. So in case they ever wanted to change their mind, if they put it out there that, yes, I saw the kids, well, then obviously in a court of law, if you said something like that and put it as a post, then you're going to be held accountable to that. So justice for a miracle. I'm just going to take a quick look. Ryan, there's my son. Ryan, you get your butt, you need to do some boots on the ground over there for us, okay? We want video footage. I want answers. Actually, I just solved the case while you're over there. All right. Okay. I can't help you here on the West Coast. If it was on the West Coast, I'd help you. So I'd be boots. You guys, I'd be boots on the ground in a second for you guys if I was on that side of the freaking world or country here. Sucks. I hate being involved in cases. All I want to do is freaking, talk to neighbors, talk to people, get all the freaking video footage and stuff like that. So Ryan, it's all up to you on this one. Does anyone from the area know that drugs were well, that's what. So I'm going to try to reach out. I went to go try to add Daphne, but her Facebook doesn't do it. But I'm going to try to go see if I requested if somebody could ask her to add me, but I'm going to message somebody else because even privately, I just would like to know a few answers. One of them is, are they known to have done drugs in that house? Is that a common thing for sure? And just ask them a few more questions that, we would kind of hopefully try to get an answer to. Some of the neighbors looked very aged, Well, I am very curious about the neighbor that said that remember, the neighbor said that they couldn't remember if it was Wednesday or Thursday, that they lived 500 yards away. And in saying that, 1 second here, let me just take a look here. Settings. 1 moment. Let me just bring up Google for a second here. Okay. So Jack and Lily live here. Boom, boom. Okay. So we know there's a house here, but they don't say, where they live. They say 500 yards. Yeah. So house here. And this I'm not sure, but this might be the same people that own, might be one property. Because look at the road, right? It's not like, this is probably kind of like one property. But I wonder if measurements, it was in feet. So if we kind of went just kind of from here, let's even go to here. Okay, well, that's like 696 feet. And this would be like the closest house. That would be 907. But, someone's just saying it off the top of their head, right? Okay. So, yeah, that would have to be, if it is the neighbor, it would have to be, to me, this house right here, this home. This is about 600 something feet, right? Because this one's just way too far. And then there's this home over here. There's this one here too. But this person says that they drive by the home and they always thought that it was, a crack house. Was it 500 yards? Is that what it said? I have that post. Was it 500 yards? Linda? Was it 500 yards? Let's see. Hi, Mel. How are you? I do have that posting. Let me take a look. Was it 500 yards? Let me just take a look. No. Explore Core. Maybe that's somebody else, but it's not. I'm just trying to use my brain for a second here because I literally just showed this post. Where is it? If you hear noises in the back, it's my husband gaming. Where are you? I am Canadian as well. Now you make me want to think of a beer, though, when you say I am Canadian. Think of the beer commercial. Come on now. Charmaine, help me out here. You're the one that sent it to me. I know I have it. I'm just having a big brain fart. It has to be one of these posts. I don't think it's this one. Oh, for Pete's sakes. Why is it? I want to find something. Most people, somebody mustn't remember if it was 500 yards or feet. I know I have the post. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. I know I have the darn post. Okay, try to bear with me. He said 500 feet in his post. Well, that's what I thought it was too. But the thing is that I have the darn post. And I see the dilapidated pen. Which one's this one? Which post is that? That's not it. You suck, Sonny. How do you have a post and then all of a sudden don't? Oh, you know what? I know where I'll have that post for sure. It's got to be in here. It's got to be in the video. No, I don't think I used it here. Dang it. Charmaine, where are you when I need you, Canadian? No, didn't use it in that video. Dang it all. Anyways. Just pisses me off when you know you had the damn thing. Anyways, gone. Charmaine had sent it to me, but I don't feel like going back through all of our conversations. Does anyone recall where they was mentioned that the person reported a dark CBR and it turned out to be an SUV and then around? Yeah, that was already. They already disseminated that or whatever, and said that it had nothing to do with it. Something about this vehicle being near this closed park or something like that. And it ended up being a nothing burger. What's 5 years? Someone's saying that they're 5 years sobriety or something on there. Congratulations, Amanda. Oh, sober for 7. Yes, rainbow looks can be deceiving. No one would ever think I'd struggled with addiction for 15 years. Well, go ahead. If anybody else wants to fess up to any addictions that they've had, go right ahead. This is like a therapy class as well. So feel free to let it out. Thank you for sharing there, Amanda. Anybody else? Anybody else got some little dark things in their closet? Okay, let's see. What do I have? Wasn't addicted. No. My crutches was smoking, but I quit and I vape now instead. Addiction. I'm addicted to love for the last, 10 years to my husband. That's about it. Never been addicted to drugs. I've done drugs, but back in the day when I was in my 20s, or at least before I was 20, worst I ever did was like freaking mushrooms and acid. That's about it. Now you got all this crazy shit out there, meth and all that crap. But I was never addicted to that. I just quit. Anyways, if you want to share, feel free. Streamlabs, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't post anything. Yeah, well, Streamlabs doesn't like it, Joyful, when you put a dot in the wrong spot and then it deems it as that you're posting a link. Streamlabs doesn't like that. Same thing with Keith's wife of 37 years. If you don't put your punctuation properly in the right spot, then it's going to deem it as a link. Ryan's fessing up. I was on IV opiate for years, clean 4 years now, also gambling. I have 30 days now. It's hard to go through separation now with my wife. Pray for me, y'all, and I'll pray for you also. Ryan, absolutely. Thank you for sharing, by the way, on there. Because at the end of the day, you know what? We're all human, right? We all have our little crutches and we all have our little pitfalls and we all have our really good things about us. But in saying that, sometimes the arrows seem to come, right? And life seems to be like shooting them at you, But I always myself, and I'm not a depressed person, but I've been through depression and it sucks ass. All right, I'll tell you that much. Is that I always have the light that's the end of the tunnel. That at some point, what goes down like a roller coaster must go up. And sometimes it's like this big ass droop for quite a while. But you know what? Just believe in yourself. That's all you need to do. Always believe that you can do it. Because at the end of the day, the only person you need to do it for is yourself. Nobody else, in a sense. It has to be always for yourself. I'm addicted to my grandchildren. I'm addicted to, well, I have one grandchild now. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know it's not a lead. I just shared this tidbit with another, and they asked me where to read that such a report was made. I want to show I had not made it up. Okay. Yeah, we definitely don't like to put false crap out there, right? Now, anything that's not like, so even this neighbor, right? It has to be taken with a grain of salt. But sometimes you put a little bit more value in it. But my question is, did that neighbor not care that they were literally talking about the house beside them that said basically it looked like a crack house? Because some people honestly don't care. And there's other people that are fearful. Because if you say that you live 500 feet away from their home and that you drive by it, you've just literally called yourself out. If it's true. If it's true. Or is it like a lot of people could, a lot of losers out there can do, and they just want to get their couple minutes of being an asshole, being a jerk off, and putting stuff out there like it is true when it's not, and adding a bunch of bullshit. We saw that happen weeks ago when people are saying that they've been found or that Daniel was arrested and charged, and just they put bullshit out there. Why? Because their intelligence level is so low and they have no reason for, I guess, living on this planet besides to think that, to be dark, sick, and twisted about the missing and the murdered. So to me, I just feel like with those type of people, karma's going to be a bitch. And when it boomerangs back out at you and you wonder why, I hope it freaking hits you right in the eye there and blinds you, to be honest with you. Because people that play games and do shit like that, you are the biggest piece of scum, worthless piece of shits to ever mess with kids, or mess with cases that way. It's disgusting. Who even thinks to do that? Well, there are people. It's just that it's so disgusting. Why people do that is beyond me. But again, I'm glad I'm me and not them. And for them, I hope every repercussion comes bouncing back at them. 500 yards converts to 450. Sounds about right. Yeah. I don't know where Shemaine, you ditched my ass. I have that posting. That's what's bugging me, is I literally have that posting. So how do I not find it in my files? It's going to bug me, you guys, because after I get off here, I'm going to be sitting there going, well, now I found it. Bed most times, not depressed. Entertain myself with YouTube. Mm-hmm. Would they search their cars? Oh, yeah, they would have. They would have. Definitely. Right? Remember, the parents are always the number one suspect regardless, right? It's just a matter of how the crime scene, how the scene is contained, or if it's like, if they did a bad job, right? Because we've seen that in cases. Sebastian Rogers, right? He's missing. And people are just walking through the house. Everybody contaminating it. If it is a crime scene, guess what? Well, didn't they want to kick their asses? Because Sebastian's been disappeared now for 15 months. And the crime scene, if it was contaminated. So they don't have any of that to go by because it was all contaminated. They didn't do, what's that one where they put that crap on it and it glows up or whatever? They didn't do that. They didn't do a lot of things, like I said. And then they have to sit there and put their tail between their legs, because instead of just searching for the kid like they thought it was just a missing child, oh, guess what? No knowledge of what happened to Sebastian Rogers at all. So that's why it's, to me, very important when cases happen, right? We always know that usually a loved one, a family member, or someone close to the has something to do, especially when it comes to the little ones, especially. But deem it as a crime scene, like seal it off right away, and then lower it down. Right? Does that not make sense to do that? Why would you just kind of like let Daniel be running like freaking, hippity hop through the woods. Here, let me just go plant, a diaper and hippity. Like, I'm just saying, right? It just, yeah, there you go. Amanda says, I'm so proud of you. Yeah. To anyone out there, again, we all struggle with things in life. Some people are willing to share them, other people aren't, because it's kind of like nobody usually wants to bruise their ego publicly. But, honestly, talking about stuff is way better than not talking about it. It's almost like an outlet, right? I should start holding like a therapy freaking session during a live. Hi, William. That was my dad's name. Bill, William. Okay. I'm just going to look. You know what? I'm just going to play. What do I want? Oh, I wanted to play this again. I'll play this for a minute as I want to see if I can find that darn thing. What was said by the family? Well, Jeremiah, you have to go back. You have to go back and go look at it. I've already went over that part. And it wasn't too far into the live, but you'll see it. Present. And I just wanted to play this again, right? This is about the former RCP and dog handler baffled by the case.
3 weeks and 8 full days of scouring Lansdowne Station, there's still no sign of Lily and Jack Sullivan. Glenn Brown is having a hard time wrapping his head around that. The retired RCMP dog handler of 26 years says it's baffling to him the children are still missing after such wide-scale searches that included upwards of 160 search and rescue personnel, dogs, helicopters, and drones.
I find it hard to believe that a 6 and 4-year-old would just disappear like that. I guarantee you, if I was still working today, that'd be the thing you'd be racing around your mind all the time. Like, where would they have gone? Like, we have done everything. I think the last thing I read, they searched the square kilometer area, 5 kilometers. That's a big area. And that's meticulously searched.
The children were reported missing from a home on Gairloch Road on May 2nd, sparking a 6-day search that was eventually scaled back. Then, over the weekend, 115 search and rescue crew members were called back. RCMP have not said what prompted them to return, but Brown says it's not unusual to restart a search. He says there are a number of reasons police may call crews back, including tips or new evidence. But if that was the case, that information likely was not known by the search crews or even police officers on the ground.
They may tell them, we got a tip, and we just want you to go in that area and search and see if you find anything. They're not going to tell you exactly what was in the tip. It's not going to do it. They don't even tell their own people that, unless you are in the know, right? Unless it's like you're in that investigative group.
RCMP's major crime unit has been involved since the day after the children disappeared. They say every missing persons investigation is considered suspicious until they have reason to believe otherwise. An RCMP spokesperson would not answer specific questions about this latest search, but says officials will be reviewing the information collected and determining next steps. Ali Thompson, CBC News, Halifax.
I couldn't find it that quickly. Why? Where did Charmaine go? You ditched me when I needed you. Oh, let me look. I'm not sure. I know I have that post. The post I'm talking about, you guys, obviously, is the one about the neighbor. Bottom line is, neighbor says that they drove by the house, bunch of cars there. They couldn't remember if it was Wednesday or Thursday night, and basically always thought it was a crack house. Never knew that there was even children there. Now, again, does that post seem unrealistic by chance? Well, no, it doesn't seem unrealistic, even though it's not like, so is it the neighbor? Is it not? But does it seem unrealistic? Absolutely not. For the fact that the children were last seen on Tuesday. They had PD day. So does it seem possible that there was a party? A barbecue, because she said 2 p.m. the person that posted that said 2 p.m. Okay, whether it was a she or he actually said 2 p.m. Right, so that's only in the afternoon. So was there by chance some family get together, barbecue thing going on, something like that day? Who knows? Who knows exactly? But is it sus that on Thursday the children both don't go to school? Lily's called in with a cough, and then on Friday, guess what? They disappear. Right? The parents keep pushing for an abduction thing, and the mother says, "Well, it's sunny out today, so I hope they're warm." What? Like, who even says that? I mean, the whole interview. Oh, I can't even. No, I can watch it 1,000 times over, and 1,000 times over, I get mad every time I watch that interview. Why? Because from start to finish, it just is red flags throughout the entire interview. There's nothing that's genuine, authentic, that comes off as sounding legit, genuine. Nothing. It's like, this is our story. And I heard the kids in the next room, but yet the post on Melinda that was told was that they were in the bedroom. Daniel says that not only did he hear the kids, but Lily kept coming in and out. So is that at the moments that Malaya is, type of thing, and doesn't know that Lily's come in the room, but yet she heard the kids, again, it's inconsistent, really. They're trying to tell the same story, perhaps, and it's just that unless you constantly are getting rid of kids, you don't know how to react, right? You like when you're being genuine, emotions just flow, words come out, and it's authentic, and you can feel that. When something feels like it's storytelling, like, well, this is what happened, and like, well, I woke up and, and then she goes, and my partner, Daniel, and it's just, it has just red flag city all over that interview. If it was going off of Daniel's interviews, I would probably be sitting there torn, like really torn, because I've been torn with him. But then when I look back, sorry, Daniel, but when I look back, when he does this, there's like literally no tears. And I've watched it in a couple interviews, and there's no tears when he's doing that. Someone said, well, sun's in the eye. Well, one of them, yeah, but it's not going to stop you from tearing up. So if there's no tears welling now, Malaya's didn't. She tried to provoke what looks like provoke tears in a sense, but she couldn't do it because nothing came down her face. I'm sorry, but just nobody acts like that when their child's missing the next day and you're literally doing an interview. You would be distraught. You would be begging and pleading. Tears would stroll down your eyes the minute you're talking about your children and stuff like that. But if your brain is too busy thinking about what you have to say, obviously those emotions, as much as you're trying to do it, you're too busy focusing on what you're supposed to be saying. And that's why it's all really, to me, not meshing. And it was just a very bad portrayal of someone telling us a story versus reality of what happened. And again, if it turns out to be true or not, I just feel that they have another child at stake here. Regardless, if they are known to have done something to these children, then their ass is gonna be grass. So either they save their own asses and lie, or if they tell the truth, their asses are still grass, and they lose the child, and they spend a whopper many amount of time in years in the system. So Linda, took my son out for supper tonight. He is thinking about enlisting in CAF, but I'm leaning towards him working for the RCMP. My great-grandfather was a Canadian mounted police officer before the Royal. Oh, that's nice. Well, at the end of the day, right? I mean, your son knows which way he wants to go. Make sure it's because he wants to do something. Keith's wife, for 40 years, Ken Corbett. If you work jobs and support your kids, many Canadians don't qualify. I don't even know what you guys are talking about there. I'm just looking. Let me take a look at this one. Sunny, how about Daniel's backpack comment? Lily's backpack is probably brown now. Very odd. Well, again, if which is the most probable thing. But if if Daniel and Malaya had anything to do with the disappearance, right? You're gonna a smart person, unlike in Sebastian Rogers' case, is going to take footwear and conceal it, and they're going to make it look like it's an abduction, or that the kids, like I said, think about this logically, that all this happened just like Sebastian's case. So all the things that these children did normally don't do, right? And then Daphne tells us, I'm going to bring up that one post because I really need to read that one post again. And then even if they were walking to school, so no other vehicle would have seen them, but the one vehicle that goes by for this abduction theory happens to be an abductor that steals these children. And Daphne says, but they have dogs. The dogs are outside, so exactly. So they were pushing for the abduction. Daniel's like, no, they're not in the woods over here. Now where are these children by chance? Don't know. Daphne saying, I don't believe they're in the woods anywhere close, so stop searching over there. They've probably been taken by quad or vehicle, somewhere else. But then you start thinking about it. Okay, so what vehicle? If it was a vehicle, because cadaver dogs can pick up the scent of death, right? So if children by chance are dead, then obviously a cadaver dog's going to be able to have that smell, and they'd be searching the vehicles, one would hope. And they said that they were bringing cadaver dogs in. But if it was, say, on a quad, and let's just say, though, if you literally got home and you made that freaking quad clean ass, and freaking used bleach and stuff like that, well, that can definitely deter. We saw that happen in Suzanne Morphew case when Barry was cleaning up the whole home in the kitchen there with like bleach and stuff like that, right? So and same with the Brian Koberger case with the vehicle, with the car, he took it and got it detailed and cleaned and blah, 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 hence trying to remove any sort of evidence of anything that could be detected. So it's not like these people couldn't possibly have a little bit of a brains on their shoulder, but chances are if they did have something to do with it, it's just a matter of the truth coming out if they did. I can't really think of any other thing that happened. I don't believe there's an abduction. I don't believe that they're in the woods and that they weren't found. They're 4 and 6 years old. Ain't no way they got no 6.6 kilometers unless they were literally taken there in a vehicle. Something to me, in cases, right? I try to look at it all and then come out with what I feel has happened. And in this case, I feel like something absolutely nefarious happened to these children. And on a good hope, it would be that the children are still out there and alive, but the chances of it being likely are slim. But hopeful, if possibly they were sold for money, possible. I just don't think that that's the situation here going on. Myself, that would be my least one, even underneath the abduction on there. I was gonna bring up that one post again, wasn't I? I was just trying to think because I needed to reread this one. Okay, because this one I wasn't sure because it was the typing on it wasn't so good. I think it's this one here. Okay, let's read this one again. The part 4. Mandy Taylor, that's not true, but I tell you who they interrogated for 4 hours, which is my nephew, the father of the kids. Great. 4 hours, which is my nephew, the father of the kids. Wait, then, hold on a second. Oh, okay, she's saying like, which is my nephew, which is the father of the kids, okay. And my sister-in-law. Sister-in-law. The grandmother for what they never even seen the kids. wish I knew which ones she's referring to, because there's 3 grandmothers in a sense. Jamie would be the step grandmother. So I think she's talking about Belinda Gray. She must be talking about Belinda Gray for that one, because Belinda Gray is the biological, because this is the Sullivan side here. Belinda Gray is Cody's mom, so that would be the grandmother, biological. She must be talking about that. Sister-in-law. I have to think about that one. The grandmother for what they never even seen the kids in a year and a half. She kept the kids away from them. Okay, so she kept the kids away from them, which would be the Sullivan side. They didn't want them to know where they lived or anything, because look where they live, what kind of house they are living into. They only live 40 minutes away from, I guess, Daphne. Sharing brought the kids up because a boyfriend. What does that mean? Sharing brought the kids up because a boyfriend didn't like them. You guys help me figure that one out. Maybe it's because I'm overthinking this right now and I'm tired. But sharing, what did she mean to say there? Sharing brought the kids up because a boyfriend didn't like them. Hi, JD. Thank you. What do you guys think that means? Sharing brought the kids up. Yeah, it's not quite the post, Charmaine, but it's referencing it. That's just referencing it, but thank you. Anybody have an idea what she meant by that? That is probably a typo, Sharon, because boyfriend didn't like them. Well, the thing is that that's what I'm going, like, sharing brought the kids up. And I'm thinking Sharon, but who's Sharon? So I don't think so. I don't know, but who's Sharon? Hi, Maxie. They only live 40 minutes away. Sharon brought the kids up because I think she would say her boyfriend didn't like them. So why are the police interrogating? I don't get that sentence. Well, that's just it, right? Yeah, but who's Sharon? That would be my question. Who's Sharon? Daphne, if you're watching this, message me on my messenger. Belinda, talk to me on this one. Okay, so my family, the police, or RCMP, whatever the F you called, are full of shit. They don't have sweet clue we look or what they're looking. My own opinion, basically to say that the RCMP don't have a effing clue, I think is what that basically says. That's all I got to say. Just bring Lily and Jack home because we miss and love you so much. Aw. 1 second here. I think this is what I'm looking at because I love you so much. Now, there could have been more posts after that. Don't know, because this Charmaine sent me these and it was from somebody who posted them from another group. I'm sure some sleuth is probably going to dig them out, or I'm going to find them later. I just wanted to I mean, the gist of it's pretty much there, right? But I would like to learn. What I really would like to know is if this is a family, this home with Malaya and Daniel, like Daniel, right? Give me a polygraph. Give me a drug test. Doesn't mean shit. Okay? Ask for it all you want. Doesn't mean you're going to pass it. Don't know. But I would really like to know if family members knew if there was like drugs, this family, drugs were involved. I just like out of this whole thing, if I was correct in my own theory, I feel like Malaya left because she was blaming Daniel. So although they tried to tell a false story, is what I feel like, right? But truly, that's just to save their own asses. But I feel like she actually left because she blamed Daniel for what happened to the children. And that's why she ended the relationship, because I feel like there's blame coming from Malaya. But she, of course, if she had any, well, she would have had to have had something to do with the children's disappearance. And if that, like I said, if that's why her story was so contrived and so disingenuous, that was her trying to present a lie to save her own ass, because at the end of the day, Daniel and her ass would be grass, right? And then she ends up blaming him for the gist of it, because possibly it was something from him that contributed it, whether it was drugs, whether it was over medicating, whether something happened, right, is what it feels like, and that they were called in sick because something happened to them. And then Friday they had to come up with a story in order to do it. And that's why, again, there's inconsistencies. About 8 o'clock they were last seen. Then Daniel saying, then Malaya saying, immediately I called 911 because that's what a mother does. My gut feeling. Daniel's like, instantly I got into my truck, because that's what you're supposed to do, and run through the woods, get a sore throat, hop in the water and all that stuff, right? But the thing is that on the dispatch radio, it says 8 o'clock. The post to Belinda Gray, the biological grandmother, someone from the family tells her that morning before the dispatch audio came out, 8:30, that the children were in their bedroom, and that at 9:40, that they were called. So Daniel says it's no more than 20 minutes. No more than 20 minutes. So 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock is 20 minutes. And is that why they deemed it as that the children could have gone as far as 6.6 kilometers? Which we all know that ain't happening. No 6 and 4-year-olds are going to be sitting there traipsing through those woods and crap like that. Like, I'll be a monkey's uncle if at some point these children got so far away from their home and the dogs didn't follow them, and that they just broke every freaking rule. Daphne says the children didn't even go in the woods, right? Yes, it's International Missing Children's Day. Criminal Lives Party was her had a local woman with local news stories. Hi, Annie. So are you saying that someone local, would have to be a neighbor, was talking about that party happening or something like that? Daniel is going to fail. Well, we haven't heard nothing about that polygraph, and thing is, we won't. Only one vehicle, Michael Vaughn. They kidnapped, and I know, such a sad story. Hi, Christine. She's not fearing for her safety, though. She ain't fearing for her safety. She knows what happened to those children. Like, meaning they literally, like, there's no way that she's fearing for her safety in a sense if she and him are willingly trying to tell the same story, that they were in bed, that she was in and out. This isn't going to be she's fearing for her safety, like in the way that I think you're referring to, meaning at the end of the day, regardless of what was going on in their relationship, if there was abuse or not. This isn't one of those things where she runs back home and has knowledge about what happened to these children, but Daniel hasn't been arrested then, if he had part in this, because obviously she would too, right? So she would have willingly lied on the news to sit there and say that this all happened. That's to me not even close. Not to say that there wasn't abuse going on in that relationship. We don't know that. But as for the children's sake, it's not like you're running away for safety and going and then still not acknowledging about anything. Instead, you're playing stupid games on Facebook, adding friends and all this stuff, you know? Because she would have had to have had knowledge of what happened to these children. So that would be too far-fetched for me to believe that she was running away, that Daniel did something, threatened her, and all that stuff. Nah, I'm not seeing that myself at all on there. It's just like I said, because it has to all make sense. And that doesn't make sense to me. The kids overdosed, stepfather buried them far away on Wednesday. Exactly. Could have been. Okay, I'm going to bring up that first post again. Well, and that's just it, little mama, right? I feel like that she did that interview, perhaps on this speculation, but that she did that interview because that was the plan. But then inside, she was, whether it was distraught because she knew the truth, but if she admitted to the truth, that meant that they lose the baby and that they do jail time, right? Anyone typically is going to go into self-probation mode, and they're going to try to save their own ass because they don't even want to think about doing jail time, let alone losing a little baby on top of it. So to me, what's your best alternative? To cover it up and lie, But I think the lie, if it is a lie, it's going to fall apart, and it's just a matter of time. Right? But where are those babies? If so, where are those babies? Hi, Sublime. Streamlabs. Thank you for subscribing. Truly amazing. I thought, okay, just for a second there, not going to lie, I thought Streamlabs was literally saying you're truly amazing. I had to relook at that. But the fact is obviously your name is truly amazing. So God bless you for that. I feel like it was coming at me, though. I want to pull up that first part of the post as well again, guys. That would have been, I think, this one. Okay, let's do that one. Anyways, welcome aboard, people that are here. Share screen window. Okay, let's go over the first part of this post. Okay, the kids didn't even go into the woods in the first place. Plus, they have dogs in the yard, which someone adopted them, abducted. Obviously, she's talking like this, and it corrected her, or to say adopted. Abducted them dogs would make a noise. I say that they were taken off the land by someone close to them. Well, that's the reality. That's the highest probability. By someone close to them and by a quad or vehicle. And they are nowhere in them dense woods. So just stop searching because you're not there. You need to put these two people into interrogation for 2 to 4 hours and see which one is going to crack. Because I know that they're nowhere around that area whatsoever in my heart. I know that. So please do an interrogation. Tell the mother you're going to take away the baby. So someone says, well, the baby is with CPS. And then Daphne also replied, no, the baby is with the mother. So I don't know who that other person was that said there was CPS, but this is a relative, right? This is literally the great aunt of these children. So I don't know who the other person was. That maybe this person didn't know that Daphne was a relative when she posted that. That's kind of what I feel happened there. Is you can't take her baby away to get her to talk. Well, right. I mean, but it's one of those things like, so Daphne's come out big and she's saying, you know, I've held back now and now I'm going to speak up because basically I'm pissed off. The case has been since the 2nd, it's now the 23rd, and I'm going to say something. And I'm glad she did. I was happy to see that she had, because honestly, the people of the internet, in a sense, can be very cruel but very helpful by the same token. The more information you have, the more you can understand the case, you know? So again, when it's quiet, you know, and nobody's really talking, which we haven't seen that. So it is nice to see that somebody is like, you know what, I'm pissed off and I'm going to say something because this is crazy. Why is it, you know, taken this long to them? Because it every day must feel like, you know, it's many more than 24 hours in a day, because these are their relatives to Jack and Lily. Tell the mother to be away, whatever the case may be, to get her to talk. Something has got to be done before it's too late. I say the kids are probably in Halifax Harbor. It's sad, but that's the reality. Okay, so there was that one. What's the other? I'm just going over this again for some people that are coming in, but we've already put them out there. So here she says. Thank you so much. I kept my mouth shut for too long. It's very hard reading about your very own family, right? Great niece and nephew. Her great niece and nephew is Jack and Lily. I hope Lily and Jack are found soon. Alive would definitely be amazing. But if not, I hope they find the bodies for closure. It's so sad that even has to be said, isn't it? But if not, I hope their bodies are found for closure. That's so sad. I'm sure the Mounties are doing a really good job, to be honest with you. But the thing is that, again, if we don't live in their shoes, it's been 3 weeks, which I think, you know, most times people, they just want to know the answer right away. And then it happens, okay? It happens all the time in cases. The minute the information isn't coming fast, people get restless. Hence, people start speaking out because now they're frustrated. Now, jumping the gun perhaps, but in Daphne's eyes, obviously, she's like, look, I know they did something. Stop searching the woods, you know, and these two people need to be, meaning, you know, Malaya and Danielle, need to be looked at hard, because that's exactly what probably happened to them. The reservoir is very close to where Daniel worked too, and is 15 minutes from the family home. Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Mark. How are you? Yeah. I just, again, for anyone that hasn't hit that like and the share button, please always do it for the sake of the cases. Do it for the sake of the children, the missing and the murdered. And thanks for everyone that's been subscribing and watching the channel. Again, just to reiterate, this channel is not about clickbait. We're not about trying to add drama to cases and stuff like that. We're there to give out the facts of the case and then speculate on what our possible thoughts are, because it's clear as day. It's kind of like Sebastian Rogers' case. There's only so many things that can happen typically when it comes to these type of cases. Family involvement, which is the highest probability, right? That it was a stranger abduction, which is the lowest probability of the two. and it doesn't make sense. Just another human. You were here the other day.
Just another human super chat. 7 Australian
And-
dollars and 99 cents. You're awesome.
Ah,
Thank you.
just another
Sending
human.
a chat. Waving hand emoji.
Hi there. Thank you so much for that. Just another human. Pleasure to see you again. Appreciate that. Thank you guys. Yeah. Man. So the other post, I think, I had too much shit open here. That's what I got. Which one is it? Oh, here, this one here. Let me try to bring this last one up again. And like I said, maybe there's more posts out there, you guys, for Daphne answering more, but this is what Charmaine came across. So this one says, Bonnie says CPS already has taken the baby until after the investigation. I agree with some of the comments. It's been, but okay. So obviously Daphne, I don't know who Bonnie Jean Blankenship is, or if she's unaware that Daphne is actually a family member of Jack and Lily. But anyways, Daphne says back to her, oh no, she still got her baby with her at her mother's place. I agree. There's nowhere near, I agree they're nowhere near the homestead. And by that, obviously, she's referring to the children. Can't the cops bring them in and do the he said, she said? Yeah, it's all about the he said, she said bullshit. You know that song, right? Well, that's the thing, right? Again, I'm sure they're doing a really good job behind the scenes. They ain't, you know what? The bottom line is they're not dumbasses. But in order to solve a case, you have to have the evidence and, either really severe, good circumstantial evidence. Bottom line is they want to know where those kids are. They want to know where Jack and Lily are, right? So they have to hunt down every lead. That's why they're asking for those cameras 5 days previously. It's not just about some strange vehicle in the area. It's about what was Malaya and Jack, or Daniel, doing in that time. Is there any footage of them and where did they go? Remember, there's the posts as well, right? About the, let's see here, image. I would really like to know, sorry, Jan, is this the one? I took a drive out the other day by the home. Didn't look like any vehicles. No, that's not the one I wanted. No. Let's try that again. It's because it looks the same color. Come on now. Why is it only showing me my videos? What the heck? Hold on, close it off for a second. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for the support from everybody. Okay, it all means a lot. Just a simple like and a share as well. 1 second. Share screen. There's my little post there. So many pictures. I have this picture of the father, but I don't want to put it out. I don't want to blast somebody without the picture being properly confirmed. This one here. Okay, this should be it. No, it's not it. Why do you? It's because it's small on my screen, guys. So as I'm trying to bring it up, it keeps looking like that one. Oh my God, isn't this picture so sad? Like, I know this is probably AI generated, but honestly, isn't that just sad just to look at on there? Okay. And oh my God, you guys, we've had 14,240 views and 703 likes. That's crazy for this channel. I mean, I wish it happened all the time, because then the bigger the channel, the more awareness you can bring. That part. I like that part. But dang, thank you guys. Thanks everybody for doing their part. I'm amazed that somebody like this information came out at like 3:20 whatever a.m. I'm amazed that nobody freaking did a live on it or already seen this stuff. I thought I'm usually last because I had to work today, yeah. Like my shifts are always Sunday through Thursday. I work in a customer service agent, eh? So I was like 4 o'clock, come on, come on, come on. And I'm looking around and I don't see anyone doing a live on it. And I'm like, hey, what? Anyways, let me just, oh no, sorry, I didn't mean to take that down. I'm just trying to find the one. I don't know what it is my issue is with having these posts and seeing them all the time. But this one here, it's heartbreaking because you know that whether or not the knapsack, come on now, guys. So Lily just puts on a knapsack. We haven't even heard if this was a normal thing she did or not, right? Let alone leave a home, both her and Jack, you know, like little hobos traipsing off to school. One car drives by, happens to be the abduction car. But it's just sad to look at that picture. It's just sad. This case is sad. Tons of cases are sad. And again, it's Missing Children's Day. Oh, did I hit my thing? I feel like I hit my camera and it went down. So if I dripped a little bit there, that's probably why. Oh, well, good enough. I don't care. Whenever I hit my the camera, it's like, yeah, it wants to teeter. Hold on a second. Come on now. Oh, it's this post right here. This is what I want. You know what? I'm just going to screenshot it. Suck on that. Screenshot you. Not going to get away from me now. Not that it wasn't screenshotted already. I'm just going to screenshot it again and bring it back to the forefront. And I'll pull it in this way. Come on now. I got too many things. I got to close some of that stuff off. Okay, stop screen. Present, share screen. This one. Okay. Okay. RCMP stopped by my workplace to acquire any security footage of our front cam that points towards the store. Said that the financial digging showed a parent had a transaction at the store early that week. Okay. That right there tells you that they are absolutely digging in to the parents. Okay. Stepdad, mama there. Okay. Because they're looking for transactions. So trust me, you guys, when I say that they are digging into the truth of this case. But I really wish I knew. If anyone has any information about what store this was, I would love to know. Because I want to see if it triangulates a little bit. You know, like we all know, okay, so I put out a video with Donna Serafina. Take it, you know, whether you like her or not. Now, actually, let me quickly say this to Dolly Vision. Okay, you offered a reward for the kids and whatever, okay? But when you don't know what the heck you're talking about when it comes to Donna Serafina and basically calling this woman a crackerjack, you really should do your homework before you open your mouth and like literally diss her. That is so disrespectful. If you don't want to believe in psychics or medium, that's fine. Nobody has to. But when you got your facts, don't have your facts straight, Dolly, come on now, right? You know better than that. So he's basically trashing her. Now, Donna Serafina, and I know this personally, okay? Because I'm one of those people that came across her reading I wasn't even in Barely True Crime. And I happened to see Donna's reading way before the kids were found. If you guys want to, it doesn't mean she's always right, guys, okay? But if you want to talk about someone that nailed that case, like I am not kidding you. I do not sit there and try to ever build up somebody because I'm very cynical about stuff. But I came across Donna Serafina during this Lori Daybell case, okay? Anyone that listens to when she did that reading and knows what, and then the children were found way after, months after this reading and how those children were found, Donna nailed it. Okay. Does she nail every case? Absolutely not. But, when somebody has no clue about the reader, and Dolly was trashing her, bad Dolly. Okay. You're trashing her. She got her reward. She did get her reward. Okay. Let me put it this way. She said she had received a reward from the case. And she said that she tried to do something with it, but it failed. So basically that money was gone. But she tried to start some sort of business with it. And she was just like, yeah, but didn't work out. So da-da-da-da-da. Donna is not that person, okay? If you don't want to believe in any ever stuff, but I know for a fact that woman nailed the Vallow case for sure on there, because I was so jaw dropped when I heard what happened to those kids months later. And I instantly went and said, I remember that lady that literally said all the same shit. I remembered specifically she talked about JJ having a bag over his face, being tied up with tape underground, and she just laid it all out about a fire pit and all this stuff. So just don't be trashing, when you literally have no clue. Instead, he was sitting there saying, like, well, I know she didn't get this case right, but all he needed to say was, you know what, I don't believe in psychics, but he didn't need to go on this big rant about kind of like trashing her, and I'm sorry too. If it's one of those things, I'm very open-minded regardless, right? I believe that there's shitty people out there. I believe that there's good people. I believe there's people with gifts. I believe there's people not with gifts. I believe a lot of people think that they have gifts, but I always leave an open mind, right? Because I'm smart enough to understand that there's reality and that you stay focused to the case and the facts. And then everything else you take with a grain of salt. And if it comes true, so be it. If it doesn't, okay. But always stick with the facts of a case, right? So Donna was talking about Peter Pumpkin Eater, right? There's a Peter's Pumpkin Patch. Dolly made it seem like that she went and visited Canada on Google Maps and was like, you know what? I think there it is, a Peter Pumpkin area. I'm going to sit there and have a vision. Donna, it doesn't work like that, okay? Please don't disrespect people that way. Donna is genuine. Sweetie Pie Low is genuine, and again, if you're not into that stuff, I just have to say that because I literally had to stop watching him because of that. And I was like, there's one more thing I want to say, but I'm going to bite my tongue on it actually, but anyways, Dolly's offering up to a $5,000 reward if you have any information that leads to where the children are, and whatever else he said. All right. Yeah, I just literally had to stop watching him yesterday. I mean, sometimes I really like watching Dolly, his sarcasm and all that shit. But when people are just spewing off that crap and they have no clue about the person and they're totally dissing her, that's just wrong, especially when you're talking out of your ass about Donna Serafina. So I know. Okay, I know, right? But I'm just gonna my lips on that one. Okay, if someone put it up there. If someone puts it up there, I don't worry. I see the game. I see what's being done there. But I'll let people figure that one out for themselves. But anyway, so this post right here said that the financial digging, right? So doesn't anyone? I'm sorry, I was too busy venting about that because it really bugged me. Donna, Donna wouldn't rest. Some people would, like I said, most people think that they're good and they're just not. They suck at being a tarot card reader. But then there's really good people. Trust me, I have been read twice by really good, like crazy. Okay. And then there's people that just give you generic bullshit. I was not born yesterday. I was born very wise since I was a child. I've always had very intuitive instincts when it comes to people and bullshit. I can spot a scammer a mile a freaking way, okay? People are transparent as glass to me. I know bullshit when I see it. I know when people are manipulating. It doesn't get by me. Sometimes, very rare. Like Daniel in this case, okay? I instantly, my gut action was it wasn't genuine. That was my gut instinct. But then I got torn because I'm looking at the emotions. And then I'm like, okay, like he is kind of placing them in spots where they should be, but maybe he's just a better actor, you know? And then I started looking again and I'm like, wait a second, there's no freaking tears rolling down those eyes in that interview or that interview. And then it becomes almost like, well, if I don't believe Malaya, then I certainly can't believe him. I can't believe that she did something and that he had no knowledge of it, considering he works 1 day a week. Okay? So I'm not buying that. They both spoke about how they were asleep together while these kids just went into the land of no return. Mm-mm. But anyways, back onto what I was saying though. So Donna talked about Peter, and there happens to be this thing called Peter's pumpkin. She happened to mention about a few things, transformer wires, blah, 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 blah. Lily's boots were darker than what they were showing in the picture. And as well as this sun, and she kept saying it type of thing. And she kept thinking it was maybe a ride, a button round thing. And then she drew a picture of it. And then it looked like the sun. And then a viewer that was watching came across this big ass thing from the sky that it's not that it's a sun, it's an old reservoir, but it looks like a freaking sun. And all Donna was saying was that there's this thing that kind of is round that has these things coming off of it. And then what she had said was she was something about sunshine, and then she said something about a fire truck. And right beside the Peter pumpkin patch happens to be a fire thing. Now, again, believe what you want. But if you don't know nothing about that lady, shut the freaking front door then. Because I know from the Vallow case, that was crazy, 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 crazy accurate beyond what the reason why I actually stopped watching that video is she got to the really gory part and I was like, this is far-fetched. There's no way all this shit happened, right? And I was just like, if it comes true, whatever. Sure as shit, you guys. I'm not kidding you. Virtually everything, almost everything she said was true. And I was like, dang. So I can applaud when I come across somebody that genuinely freaking nailed something, right? And give credit where credit was due. But when Dolly was talking out of his ass yesterday, he doesn't give two shits. He makes fun of psychics and whatever. And he can do that on his dime, but don't be so ignorant. Don't sit there and bring up cases and stuff, and say that she didn't this. He was just pulling shit out of his ass and stuff like that. So anyways, it just bugged me. And that's why I just couldn't. I was too pissed off watching him. I don't usually watch people too often, but I was just like, because I don't usually say something in chat too often. It's very rare that I even talk in somebody's chat. But that was one of those instances where, I typed a couple times and I was like, nope, type of thing. And I'm not going to say nothing, but I'll say it on a live. His actions. Yeah. I think that they should check the reservoir. Reminds me of. Well, I just hope that through all of this, guys, right? Hopefully there's people in Nova Scotia. If there's no answer soon, I truly hope that there's people that put a search together, and happen to look in these areas that might have significance to it. Who knows? But we'll see what happens, right? We got to have faith that the RCMP is doing a good job. And I believe that they are. I truly do. I truly know that they probably know exactly pretty much what has happened here, where the truth lies, but they have to have the evidence. And of course, they want to know where the children's bodies are if they're deceased. Chances are likely, okay? And again, anything about the theories and ideas is speculation. Again, Daniel, Malala, and nobody else has been charged for the disappearance of Jack and Lily at this time. Maybe never, maybe they will be. We don't know if the children by chance were abducted. very slim chance there. Let's get real. Okay. And that's pretty much your options. Unless, a part of it was, perhaps selling these children. That's so less likely to me. I don't see that. But you know what? I mean, what I do see is children, something happening, and it's a cover up. And that's why Lily and Jack didn't go to school on Thursday and they prepped for a story for Friday because obviously people are going to find out soon. And if they don't return to school, people are going to know something's up. So they have to, act on that. But if anyone does know about what store this was that they pulled the camera from, the transactions, which I'm sure that they pulled the camera footage, obviously, duh. But the transaction, I would really love to know because I want to see where it falls on the map. So if anyone does know, just privately email me at crimeandshame@gmail.com. That would be great. Yeah, it's a store, and I know it's open from September till October 31st. And Jack's birthday is October 29th. And remember, there's the big pumpkin cake that he has. And just to go back to this again, I want to go back to. That was so nice of that gentleman, Gregory Crane, to make a song for Jack and Lily. You guys, that was really nice. Where did? Okay, that's not what I wanted. Just wanting to go back to. I'll find it. I just want to go quickly back to this, if you don't mind. It's not what I wanted. I wanted this one. Why is it showing me this one? Wait. 1 second. Why is it showing me that one? Oh. Okay, so again, this is on Belinda Gray's Facebook. So Belinda, again, is the mother of Cody Lee Sullivan, who is the biological father of Jack and Lily. Now, on this, guys, the store's on Google Maps. I believe Donna showed it. Yeah, I've already looked at all that, Rabo, on like that day. I mean, I put out a video on it, but I'd already been down to it on that store. It's kind of like I don't know, a store with big yard to it called Peter's Pumpkin or Peter Pumpkins or whatever on there. But thank you. So Malaya used the word possibly autism with Jack and Lily. Now, Belinda Gray, which is the mother of Cody Lee Sullivan, she posts, autism moms are sunshine mixed with a little hurricane. So this leads me to almost assume that perhaps her son, Cody, has autism, and why Malaya would have said possible autism if she knows that Cody Lee, the father of Jack and Lily, if he's autistic or has a, whatever level he's at there. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about that. Well, that's just it. Right. I hate the term possible autism. When she used that word, oh my God, like seriously. But I'm thinking perhaps, just a thought, because Cody's mom posted this, she's obviously posting it probably, I'm thinking, for a reason that's hitting home with her. So I'm thinking perhaps that Cody might have autism and why she felt that the kids autism, right? Not that they do, but that's maybe where that wording came from about possible. You know what? Give me a moment about that. Oh, and by the way, Toka family. By the way, if you did a $3 donation yesterday, because I didn't see it. Like when I closed off, I don't recall seeing any donation at all, right? And then all of a sudden it showed that there was one, and I went to go look and it said Toka family. But if I'm sorry, because I will always give a shout out. Of course, that would be very rude of me if I didn't. So I apologize if you did do that yesterday, which I think you did, and for $3 super chat, and I didn't give you a shout out for that. So I'm doing it now. If you happen to be watching this live, Mom, my bad, because that would be so rude if a channel doesn't do that. So sorry if I didn't catch that one. Sorry, what did you say there, Vanessa? I'm very invested in this case from day one. In my information, I think that they were taken at the end of the driveway, like the dogs indicate. That's not what the dogs indicated, though. So, Vanessa, we'll go back over this again, and you can still think what you want. Still think what you want. The children went out a quiet back door, yet the parents are trying to claim that they don't do that. Obviously, in order to make the claim a quiet door, in a sense, or basically made no noise, something would have had to happen already for them to know that that door was quiet as somebody came in. So everything that these children wouldn't have done. If there's dogs on the property as well, honestly, you don't think those dogs are going to be yip yapping? So think about this. The fact that these children even when it went out, not only the sliding door out the backyard, through the gate to the front, and that even if she had a knapsack on, there's no way that these children are walking down to school, or that one car that drives by, because nobody's called in. There's nothing to show that there was an abduction. The police, RCMP, don't believe there was an abduction. They've already told us that. So this is sometimes where I don't understand. What's the chances that all this would have needed to happen? And I'm just, like I said, you can think what you want, of course, right? But I'm just giving you food for thought. So what's the chances that out of this rural road, that the one car that happens to drive by is that pedo or child SM, or you know what I'm saying? What's the chances? The probability is so low that would have happened. So the highest probability is that a family member did something to the children. The second level probability would be in the woods, but there's nothing to show that again. So what's the chances that the children would go into the woods? And even though Daphne says that the children don't really go into the woods, what's the chances that a 4 and 6-year-old would go into the woods that Daniel says hates to be cold and wet? The minute they get water on their boots, they're back inside, type of thing. So it goes against the grain of everything. Plus the searchers don't find them. Nope, it's not your thoughts, and you don't have to have mine thoughts. But, at the end of the day, it's about the highest probability of what happened to these children. And the highest probability simply is that a family involvement happened here. That's the highest probability of the 3 scenarios. But that's not me talking out of my ass. That's statistics. What time does... Well, that's what I was wondering, Doris. What time does school start? Because, it's a 21-minute bus ride, right, to get to their school, the Salt Lake one. Sorry, Katie. So I was actually wondering, too, what time school... Because school typically is like 8 o'clock, 8:15, 8:30, somewhere in there. It is low. If you're talking about what I said, it is low. Again, go watch. Whoever hasn't watched Dr. Todd Grand, you really should watch that episode. He did such a great job. There's people out there that are numbers people. I happen not to be one of those ones. But there are a lot of people that are. And statistics say a lot. And we're talking Canada. We're not talking the United States here, first and foremost. We're talking about Canada. A population of 37 million tops versus USA. Michael Vaughn's out of the USA. So we're not talking his statistics. That's a whole different ball of wax for statistics in Canada. We're talking about Canada. Anyways, I'd say the dog's probably allergic at the end of the driveway. I don't think he meant to say allergic. The driveway, because the kids stand there every day for the bus. Right, that's where they stand there every day for the bus. But if they would have picked it up all the way out from the house to the street, yeah, absolutely. Well, again, so on top of this, right, on top of these stats that aren't just a bunch of talking out of my ass stuff, out of these stats, the RCMP are saying to you, they're literally saying to you, doesn't mean that they're always right, but come on, the evidence isn't supporting an abduction. They said we would have issued an Amber Alert if it would have met the criteria, and we would have given you that information. But because they don't feel like it's an abduction, why are they going to waste their time giving an Amber Alert if there's nothing to show that the children were abducted? Why? Because they're a lot smarter than us, or most of us, because this is what they do every day. Like, these are the cases that's why they're RCMP. I'm not an RCMP. I'm just a deep empath that cares about kids and always fights for what's right, So for me, and unless someone has their something to back up, that somehow that the RCMP don't know what they're talking about versus them, I don't know. Who else offered up any reward? Have you? Why should I? Who else offered to have you? Just curious. Just because he doesn't believe in psychics doesn't mean, you know what? I'm just going to ignore you just because I can just tell by your bitchy ass that no, I haven't. Have you, Canadian lady? Have you offered up a reward? So before you flop off at your mouth there, did you offer a reward? Do I have to? I'm doing my part. Do I need to dig into my own pockets? If somebody had a GoFundMe going or something like that, would I? Probably. Am I supposed to do it for every single case out there? But have you done anything, Canadian lady, besides whap off with your mouth? See, people like you just bug me because instead of being kind and whatever, instead you're trying to attack me and go, have you donated? Just curious, because Dolly doesn't like, take your freaking ass out of here before I block it because you just pissed me off now. I hate stupid idiots like you, Canadian or not, do not care. I hate people that have to try to be, ignorant and rude. Why don't you go donate your house? Let's see. Hold on. Ban user. Sorry, guys. I don't have the patience for these type of idiots out here on there. Everyone does their part. Has everyone got money? Is everyone going to donate? Do I make a freaking fortune off of YouTube? No, I make shit all off of YouTube. Do I work hard? This case just came out. At the end of the day, if somebody had something up there and I wanted to donate, I would. Do I have to? No. I'm doing a big part just by covering the case. Just because, let's be honest, actually. Let's be honest about reward money. It means virtually shit all reward money. You know why? Delphi case, $300 and something thousand, right? Nobody came forward. Most cases, people do not come forward because most people are too scared. The money's too little, or they just simply, there's nobody that has the information that wants to come forward. Bottom line is reward money, really, for the most part, never gets given out. Hence why it's so easy to post offering up to this, right? I'm not saying about Dolly, but it's so easy for people to do that. Because why? Because it's kind of like that little game. It's no different than Sebastian's case. Dog the Bounty Hunter offering over $200,000. FBI offering $50,000. Guess what, guys? No information. No one's claiming it. So do you think $5,000 for someone to snitch on somebody is going to make or break their life? No. So, and it can be a $200,000 case, like we said. Do I think that these rewards make a difference? No. What it does, it makes the idiots come out of the woodwork, half of them, because they're too busy throwing in false tips right? As if they are going to get some reward. Anyways, back on track. My bad. Rarely. They don't. Anyone that follows cases knows that those rewards hardly ever work. And honestly, if people need a reward and they're that freaking selfish, but those rewards are out there more so, to be honest with you, they're out there more so for those people that have information. They might be, someone out of jail, someone doing drugs, stuff like that. The greedy people that you just got to dangle a little bit of cheese in front of them. And then all of a sudden they're willing to talk or willing to give up information. That's mostly who those rewards. People that don't care about money and that care, regardless if you're broke or not, unless you truly have information that can help a case. But it's rare. Most of those rewards are for the, people that are got issues, typically. Try to get them to snitch, talk. Kent, you should make a video. Yeah. Anyway, that chick can go fuck off a tree for like her. Kick her out of Canada. Where should we send her? Where should we say that Canadian cat lady? Where should we send her? Exile Island? Boom. Okay. I don't really think I have anything more to talk about. I don't usually get hot. Charmaine, you sending me messages. If you guys don't mind though, and whoever doesn't want to stay, don't have to stay. But I just like to play this guy's song for Jack and Lily. For one last thing, if you guys don't mind. I think it's really nice that somebody literally
Still,
sat down and wrote a song for Jack and Lily. Did I hit play? Oh, shoot. So this name is Gregory Crane, guys. So
a little tribute song.
Let's turn up the volume.
A little girl and a boy went missing one day. It was on Friday morning, the 2nd of May. People went searching in the woods around that. The 2 little children named Lily and Jack. The girl was just 6 years, the boy was 4. While others were sleeping, they walked out the door. As time it went by and turned into days. The sign of those children, the news it did say. Where's Lily and Jack? Where can they be? So sad and heartbreaking for each family. Not a trace or a sound from Lily or Jack. Who walked out the door and they never came back. Lansdowne Station, it was their own. In Nova Scotia, 'cause there they did roam. Let's not forget them and let us pray for those 2 little children still missing today. Where's Lily and Jack? Where can they be? So sad and heartbreaking for each family. Not a trace or a sound from Lily or Jack. Who walked out the door and they never came back. Who walked out the door and they never came back.
Oh, bless him. Bless him, bless him, bless him. I think it's just so sweet. And for anyone that doesn't see that, shake your head. And that was actually pretty good, actually. At first, I was like, oh, because I had it on full volume, like when I first played it the first time. And I was like, oh, my ears. So my reaction there was like, oh, it wasn't because I was singing on there. But that's so sweet, listening to the words of that for Lily and Jack. Newfie here. Ex-husband's a Newfie. He's from, what's it called? North Arm North, I think it was. On there, let me just quickly take a look here at something. Okay, guys. So I think we're going to leave it off there. Again, add to the stage this National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Look at all these little faces. There's so many more, right? There's so many more. That's why it's really important just to keep the cases out there. So, anyone can share a meme, anyone can share something. But if ever you see like a missing case out there, like I use Twitter a lot for that. Whenever I see Jennifer Coffindaffer or, others post a missing child, it just takes a second to share. Just like this one here, right? When I went over to Twitter, all I did was hit share, share to my own Twitter. Just keep the awareness out there with cases. So I appreciate everyone today. I do want to, of course, so Jackie gave out 5 It's a Crime and Shame memberships. Thank you, Jackie, for that. Miss Dog Lover donated $9.99. She's from the United Kingdom over there. And we got an Aussie, Just Another Human. I keep thinking of that song. Isn't there a song, Just Another Human? Anyways, a good day, Sunny and chat. I love the, okay, I'm not going to lie, my favorite accent, sorry, husband, is the Aussie accent. Just saying. Love that Aussie. I mean, my husband's accent, so it's pretty good too, but I do love that Aussie accent. Not gonna lie. On there. What is the intro song, please? Oh, I always forget the name of my intro song. Hold on. Darn it. Hold on a second. Let me just take a look. I don't know why I have a brain block. Give me a sec. I'll tell you what it is. A lot of people love the intro song. I love the intro song, and it was free. And I'm just going to go to my Canva for a sec, and I will tell you what it's called. In my uploads, audio. That's a beautiful song too. Heaven Needed You More. Guess I'll Never Know. It's by Track Tribe, but it's called Guess I'll Never Know. I always forget it for some reason. Thank you, Nicole. We'll see you soon. Thank you, you guys. Thanks, everybody, for, again, liking, sharing. Thanks, mods. Thank you, Charmaine, Extreme Labs, and stuff like that. Yeah, thank you for sending me that. Again, maybe there's more to that posting. I'm not sure at this moment. I'm sure that some other sleuth is going to sniff it out if they haven't already and do that. So anyone just go back, hit screenshots for that if you really want to look at them again yourselves. My information, that is what Surf has eyes on. McCann model and flip reward to search money. Talk about Madeline. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Kelly. Again, if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. Thank you for joining us. And, the thing is that truly, I could probably sit on here for another 2 hours and stuff like that. But I probably should go do some laundry. I do have to work tomorrow. Anyways, prayers to, let's do this. We'll start with prayers to Dylan Eller. Hopefully answers come. Prayers to Sebastian Rogers and his dad, biological dad, Seth Rogers, who's been diligently searching for Sebastian for 15 months now. Again, if you want to know anything about this case, it's really mysterious for sure, until it brings you to a dead end and you're just waiting for something to happen. I hope that never happens in this case of Lily and Jack. And I really hope that the details of what happened come out soon. Prayers on a miracle, and I hope in a miracle that these children are still alive. But in our heart of hearts, I think most of us know that that's probably not the likely outcome, sadly, for this. Hi, David Grant. Anyways, you guys, with that being said, again, bless. Have a great night. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Appreciate everything that you guys do. And here we go.
A Nordic night, the world is cold.